If you get bit by a rabid animal with a foaming mouth, you need to get to a doctor immediately because your time is already running out. But the signs of rabies aren't always this obvious. You could get a seemingly innocent bite from a normal-looking animal and think nothing of it. But in reality, the rabies virus, an agent of doom carried in the saliva of the aggressor, has just gained access to your body. When will your symptoms start to appear? And at what stage is there a 99% chance of dying? Well, we'll get there, but for now, there's no time to lose. After being bitten or scratched by an animal, wash your wound for at least 15 minutes with lots of water and soap. Then wait another 15 minutes before applying an antiviral medication or iodine. Keep your wound uncovered and head to a healthcare facility ASAP. It might be difficult, but if you can, get the animal that bit you into a cage and keep it there. Observing it might provide vital information to your healthcare professional and help them determine the necessary vaccines. You might have heard horror stories about painful shots in your stomach, but relax, those are a thing of the past now. For adults and children over the age of 2, vaccines are now injected into the deltoid muscle. Now, if you can get something called the post-exposure prophylactic vaccination right away, well, good news, you have a 99% chance of survival. But in many cases, people don't go to the doctor. They either don't realize they've been bitten or they believe it's not a big deal. So, how long until they start foaming at the mouth? Well, let's find out. In the early days after infection, the viral forces quietly gather their strength. Pain, itching, and numbness begin as the virus begins its slow replication. Now, don't dismiss these symptoms as minor discomforts. Even in this developing stage, quick medical attention can be a decisive factor in how bad your rabies will be. Rabies vaccinations are still effective if you get them early enough in the exposure phase. These infections can be localized. They begin quietly, and sometimes severe symptoms might not present themselves for days or weeks, and in extreme cases, a year. Typically, though, over the next few days, the virus goes into stealth mode while it makes its way into your peripheral nervous system. This means the virus is entering your body through nerves connected to your muscles. Then it races to your central nervous system, where it starts replicating. But the virus is still in stealth mode. During this phase, you feel entirely normal. This is the calm before the storm. These might be your last normal days as you slowly creep closer to death. You know, in many situations, awareness and preparation can make the difference between a victim and a survivor. So hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all the survival tips we have for you. After 10 days, rabies hits the early neurological phase. During this period, you'll be noticing flu-like symptoms. You might experience a mild fever, a persistent headache, and a general sense of discomfort. But the virus isn't planning on continuing to swim on the surface. It's diving into the heart of your nervous system, triggering changes beyond the physical. Now, you might start feeling anxious, like your body's trying to tell you something's wrong. It just doesn't know how. Recognizing these early neurological symptoms will be a game changer if you want to survive. At this point, getting a dose of rabies immunoglobulin, a special kind of antibody, coupled with the vaccine, could still effectively halt the virus's relentless march. It may be your last chance to hit the brakes on this speeding train before it goes off the tracks. Day 21, the timeline takes a dark turn into the acute neurological phase's early stage. Here, there's a good chance you'll experience confusion, agitation, and hallucinations. Add to that hydrophobia, the fear of water, which will turn the simple act of swallowing into a monumental task. This leads to the image most of us picture when we think of rabies, the infamous frothing mouth. This is no accident. It's how the virus finds new hosts and how you probably got it, through saliva. This virus is pure evil. It proves that nature can be scarier than the worst science fiction movie. At this point, seeking medical help is not just advisable, it's urgent. You've got between 2 and 10 days before it gets ugly. As the acute neurological phase advances, your confusion and agitation get worse. Excessive salivation, vomiting, and seizures make for a horror show for everyone who sees you. At this point, doctors should be able to determine which of the 2 types of rabies you have. Spoiler alert, they're both deadly. The most common is furious rabies. Yeah, furious rabies. It's characterized by violent physical and neurological symptoms. Hydrophobia and aerophobia, the fear of fresh air or drafts, are more common in this one. Furious rabies kills after a few days, usually due to cardiorespiratory arrest. The other type is paralytic rabies, which makes up about 20% of cases. It gradually weakens the muscles, starting at the exposure site and then expanding to the rest of the body. This type kills slower than furious rabies and is often misdiagnosed as another disease. Its next gift is body paralysis, and soon after that, a coma. The infection has caused a massive brain inflammation, plunging you into a state of deep unconsciousness. Interestingly, it may be doctors who decide to put you into an induced coma as a therapeutic measure. By doing this, they hope to create an environment where your body can better cope with the viral assault. Sounds like a great solution, right? Well, not so much. Only 3 people in history have been put into a coma to combat rabies and have survived. The first one was 15-year-old Jenna Giese, who was bitten by a bat in 2004. She began exhibiting mild rabies symptoms the next day. A week later, she had to be rushed to the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin with fever, hydrophobia, and hallucinations. Doctors told her parents that she might just have a few hours to live, or they could try a new experiment. Without knowing if it would work, they put Jenna into a coma for 2 weeks. The treatment, later named the Milwaukee Protocol, gave her body extra time to fight the infection before it reached the brain. When Jenna woke up, she had to learn how to talk and move her body again, the beginning of a recovery journey that lasted years. These days, scientists debate the effectiveness of the treatment, and as we said before, it's still a long shot. This takes us to the last stage. In this, the terminal phase, your exhausted body succumbs to the relentless assault of the virus. Complications from paralysis cause respiratory arrest and end your life. The terminal stage has little room for intervention. Hopefully, this journey through the various phases highlights the critical importance of taking immediate action. Understanding the nuances of rabies and getting medical attention during the first stages are critical to surviving this ruthless killer. Oh, and next time you see a stray dog, stay away. Call your local animal shelter or animal control unit. Not only could they have rabies, but they might be extremely aggressive. Now, how did this woman survive an attack by 2 vicious dogs? Check the video to find out.